Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning market report, where bears live typically, but we've locked them away for a little while. I'm seeing some reasons to be bullish. Shout out to Retro Mike, you get it right out the gate, bro. Retro Mike, shout out to you. I do have some caution. There is some caution, but there might be a little shift in what I'm starting to see and things that are starting to play out. Plus, we got some data on the stock market that could indicate how Bitcoin makes new all-time highs. We're going to be taking a look at that. We're going to look at a little bit of economic data. There was some bearish data come out today. New York manufacturing missing its target big time. So there's your bearish. There's your bear. We're going to be looking at that. But guys, right now, we're continuing to hold this level right here. We're getting a little pump up. I said yesterday that I thought we were looking at that 786. That would be the level to watch, in my opinion. And then plus, you jump over here, we are seeing some green on the daily, the weekly, the monthly. Looking at the market cap right there, that's a big old Bitcoin bubble right there, 1.7%. ETH up 1.9. We're going to be looking at that and a whole lot more here today on the morning market report. Guys, let's get it. Classes in session. Good morning, everyone that is joining us. Shout out to all the alumni. Shout out to Alexandra G. She was in there early saying, give it. She was throwing some love. She was throwing some love. And so shout out to the mod queen, Alexandra G. Let's go ahead and bring up my co-host today. I got the OC guy back. No solo show today. OC guy is back and sitting very close to his camera. I don't know what's going on there. Like he's all up on that thing. So he's Haktua his camera there. Let me see if I can get myself a little more in line with you there, OC, and we'll bring me in. There we go. That looks a little better. Now we're matchy. Dress right, dress, sir. Shape it up. We had a little move on Bitcoin. We talked about last Friday. You weren't here yesterday, so I got to recap this for you. But you said you watched the show. So we talked Friday that there was a talk of China stimulus that could be coming in. It was a little vague, but I think it was enough to move the markets. The Hang Seng down a little bit today, but right now the Dow Jones is currently down. S&P's up, NASDAQ's up. That Dow Jones is down about 0.5%. Heavy breathing. Is that what, I don't know what you're talking about, Falco. Is it me? I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited today. I got OC back, and we got some good charts to look at today. So let's go ahead and let's bring let's let OC give his a little announcement. Shout out to all of the people in the chat right now, and then we'll go jumping on this Bitcoin chart first, and then we'll come back around to the news. So OC, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Yesterday, I got caught into the highway. In fact, it was Sunday going to Monday. A semi truck, got out of the road and impacted one of the diesel tanks and caught on fire. And thankfully, nobody got hurt. But I have some amazing pictures that I'm going to be uploading to the Piper Academy. So if you like the gossip, if you like to see a burned out a truck, I might be sharing a little bit of that. Again, the truck was empty, or the semi truck was empty. Nobody got really hurt, just a little bit of bruises and stuff. But the highway got blocked for at least 4 hours. So yeah, if you imagine what kind of a line of cars it was there. So that actually made me pretty late to get Monday early to the show. So that's why I missed out the show. But other than that, doing great. Getting ready for Pumptober. Seems like it's moving faster than I was expecting. And I mean, that makes me happy. That made me happy. And I mean, it's just a good day today.
I'm sorry. I'm reading Falco. He said, "Oh shit, I can just say random things." Excellent. No, don't mess with me, man. Come on now. I'm trying to have a serious professional show here on the Piper Academy. This is the morning market report. OC, I'm glad you're okay, man. I'm glad that you weren't involved in the accident, just held up by it. But let's go ahead and jump into the news, into Bitcoin, and then we'll come back around and jump into the news, because I do want to show a couple of things here on Bitcoin, because it's moving right now. So charts, there you go, guys. No forgetting the charts today. So we did have this breakout here. We talked about this, came down, touched the dynamic reactor. That was on Sunday. Got a confirmed breakout, gave a smart target here. Guys, that's smart target. That's literally what we're holding as support. So, you know, that algorithm that is in the very smart code design of Chart Prime gave us this level here. We're now pumping back up. I do think 67,234 is going to be the level to watch. That will put us higher than this high back here. Now, the high that I'm really watching now, this is the high you got to watch right here. That is this level here, because that would confirm that this little consolidation stair step method that we got going here would be a higher high, and we would have broken through this downward channel that we have. So I am watching that pretty closely. Uh, I think that if we do break that 67, 236 and set a new high here on the 5-day, guys, we are very likely looking at the value area high, because the point of control was where we got a nice breakthrough right there when we had that doji candle. And I would say that if we're going to go there, we might as well go to the 887. What is the 887, you ask? Guys, it's the all-time high that we had in March. So that's why I said let's talk about a new all-time high and how we get there, because this is not going to be that hard to hit. I will tell you that. Once we break that structure, that is going to cause the FOMO money to come in. I think that the thing that's going to be hard to hit and hold is going to be a break above the 887. And where does that money come from? Because as we've discussed, there is not a whole lot of new money in crypto right now. Even retail from last cycle bull run has not come back to this bull run. And so because of that, you just see really a lot of money flushing from one project to another. Retail has not fully came back. I think that we need to hold that 887 to get that, or we need to find a new source of money. And that new source of money, that's what we're going to talk about after all this TA. Let's go ahead and show you one other chart of why I am sitting bullish here, guys. It is going to be this one, the Gaussian channel. You guys remember me talking about this back here, that we had gone into capitulation. We had got a crossover, guys. We have now printed a that the capitulation is over, capitulation complete. And if we put this down here onto like the 2-day and the 1-day, you'll see that we have actually hit it twice. So we're waiting for that blue buy button. That blue buy dot is what we're waiting on. That is when it says that capitulation is completely over. Right now, we're still in that play zone. I think that's going to fire off here in a day or two. We need retirement accounts. Yes, IGVN may pop soon. Stock news update in the house. And then good morning, professors. I've been recovering from Helene. Did I miss the bull out the gate? And will there be another write-up? I do think there will be another write-up, Baba Yaz. And I'm glad to hear that you're okay down in Florida, bro. Let's go take a look at this news now. And then we'll come back around. We'll look at OC's charts, see what he's seeing there. Bam, all the news that's fit to be news. Let me readjust. There we go. All right, looking here, guys, you can see that the current crypto market cap at $2.28 trillion, up 0.03 trillion from yesterday morning. That is up 1.29%. You can see that the Fear and Greed Index is sitting at 56 in neutral right now. This is the total fear and greed for the entire crypto market, not Bitcoin, obviously. And then let's go take a look at where Bitcoin's at. It's sitting just above $66,100, up 0.44% in the past hour, up 2.2 in the past 24, and giving us a good weekly uptick there of 5.41%. Looking at the crypto bubbles here, you can see the big mover, though. That is right there. That is Turbo, guys. And that is the AI. That is the AI generated, AI project modeled infrastructure, completely designed 100% by AI, by ChatGPT. That is a meme coin that some guy said, let's see what it can do. It is up 34.3% today. Mu is up 15.8. I know that Crux of Crypto has talked about this in the past. I'm not sure what he said about it, but I know that he has talked about this. It's in the deep dives. You guys can get access to the deep dives by joining the memberships and going over to our Discord. There's a lot of deep dives over there that Crux does for you guys. So let's get into the numbers down here. All right, so Ethereum sitting at 2606. I did pick up some more Ethereum around 2,500, so I'm glad to see that that's up, putting me in profit. Solana is up to $154, up 0.62%. XRP sitting at 54%, or 54 cents. Doge is at 11.5, bouncing up from that famous $10 range or 10-cent range that it likes to sit at. Toncoin at $5.24, getting a little pullback on the daily, but regaining some on the past hour, a small amount. Cardano sitting at 36.3 cents, Avalanche at $28.77. Getting a little pullback here on the daily for Avalanche, but they had a pretty decent run. So maybe. Bitcoin Cash is up 5.5%, sitting at $365.46. Chainlink up 4%. So if you're in a long on Chainlink, you should be looking pretty good. SUI down on the daily, but regaining a little bit of lost on the hourly here. Doesn't matter. Up 94% for the month. So there you go. And then SUI near protocol that is sitting up 3.8% on the daily, up 20% on the monthly. So that finishes out our top 20. Let's go down here and just see if there's any other big movers here in this top 50 range. Does not look like it. Everything's just kind of meh. H-bar's up 6.5%. That's sitting at the number 45 spot. And where's Caspa? We got to go look at Caspa. Caspa down today, 1.8%, up 1% in the past hour, regaining a little bit there. Let's jump into the economic calendar, guys. Here is that data that I told you about. That is the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, okay? It was previously at 11.5. Consensus is that it would be at 3.8 to 4. So a little bit less than what it was previously, but still in the positive side. Guys, negative 11.9. This is a very low number. Let's go in and see what it says. The New York Empire State Manufacturing Index plummeted to negative 11.9 in October, down from the 11.5 in September, and surprising the analysts who expected it to be at 3.8. This marks the worst reading since May, pointing to a renewed contraction in the New York State at a solid pace. The new order index slumped 20 points to negative 10.2, and the shipments index fell 21 points to negative 2.7. Unfilled orders were a little changed. The inventories index fell 8 points to 7.5. So inventories, shipments, and new orders all hitting negative downside. 5-point gain. Sign that supply availability worsens. So, guys, remember, this is New York, right? This is their manufacturing. And what did they have going on there? They had about a week of a strike going on at the ports. So I'm sure that had a little effect on it, but this is a declining sign of the economy, at least for the state of New York. Now, mind you, they are a major economic factor in the national average. So the manufacturing is based on data compiled from a survey of 200 executives from the companies in the manufacturing sector in New York State. So it gives us a nice little slice so that we can, turn it sideways, look at it, and see what the rest of the economy could look like coming up. So it's a little foreshadow type indicator there. We do have 3 daily speeches today from the Fed, and then monthly budget is going to come out this afternoon sometime. It doesn't have a time, but it's expected to be down quite a bit. $380 billion is what it was previously. They're expecting it to be up a little bit, actually, I should say. 61 billion, 70 billion consensus and forecast. Tomorrow, we get API oil stock changes. So if you're trading oil, there you go. That's that. Nothing major beyond that tomorrow. Big one, guys. Retail sales coming in on Thursday. Retail sales month over month. Previously was up 0.1%. Looking at a 0.3 to 0.2 in a consensus to forecast. If this comes in below these numbers, this is a continuation of this bad data from New York, and we could see some market pullback. So just so you know, that is how that works. CME, let's go see if anything's changed here. It looks like we're lessening on the likelihood of no change. It's leaning more and more towards 25 basis points. There you go. Down to 9.2 now, sitting at 90.8% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut. Look in here under bookmarks. I want to show you guys this thing. This is from, where is it? We are looking at FD White. Do I have it in here? Maybe I don't. I thought I did. Yep, right there. Let's go check out this thing from FD White, guys. He was talking about this. If you got here, let me come over here and set this up first. OC, are you tracking what Kamala Harris said about crypto and black men in America?
No, that
Yes.
sounds pretty interesting. to say the
So
least.
Crux talked about it. He posted about it. So did FD White. She said that she was going to create safe regulation for crypto to protect black men in the investing world. And Crux was like, I guess I can't. I need the government to protect me. I can't do my own research to protect myself. It was very insulting for Crux and FD White. But let's go over here and check out and see what she actually said, and let's check. Let's see. Let's see if we can get this to play first. Let me pause this. Bring this up. We're going to come up here. Give that volume. There we go. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Nope. I'm sure you can't. I know you can't. You know why? Because I can't. Let me go here. Put it on Ecamm. Why is this not playing through? Oh man, I don't know why. This is so weird. Ecamm, are you not wanting to work for me? Yeah, it's not wanting to play through the Ecamm app. All right, guys, sorry about that. You guys need to go check this out. I'm going to drop this link in here, right here in the chat right now. And then you guys need to go check this out. It's FD White, and he did a pretty good little breakdown about how that came across to him. He said, "I'm so confused, Kamala." So, guys, go check that out. Y'all don't act like streaming is easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. So, let's go and take a look at the rest of the articles here, OC. We talked about Bitcoin. I want to show this real fast before you go over to your chart. Here's what I'm watching on the 1 month heat map. It is coming in right now on the high side on the 1 month of about 67,800. There is about $200 million. I need to call TradeFly for tech support. That's exactly what it is. There's about $200 here, $200 million here in liquidity sitting just above Bitcoin. Now, you do see all the way down here, there's some, I don't think we're going to hit that. That's 46,000, but there is a nice little strip of it sitting right here at about 58. So if we do go down to the downside, we're looking in that $58,000 area. If we're looking to the upside, though, we got a big, big, big area there. So Andrea said, "Oh my God, I was just listening to CNBC. The guy pretty much said they are providing grants to black men in business because they are the lowest percent that vote. So basically, they're buying voters." Yes, absolutely. Absolutely what is happening there, Andrea. Um, we'll get to that in a minute. Now we'll go ahead and talk about that. US spot Bitcoin ETF saw $555 million in net inflows yesterday. It's the largest since early June. Remember though, guys, a lot of these buy-ins, these are over-the-counter OTC orders. They don't really affect the price over too much. So Emma says, "Good morning to everyone." Good morning to Emma, John Foster. We appreciate you coming over and dropping that in here. OC, let's jump over to your chart. Let's see what you're seeing on Bitcoin. And then let's go talk about how Bitcoin hits this new level right here before the US election, according to Standard Charter. They're saying Bitcoin could revisit its all-time high before the election. So let's go check out your chart, see what you're seeing. Come back, talk about this, look at the charts a little bit more, and talk about how Bitcoin takes all of the money in the market and how that's going to happen. So
Absolutely. So let's take a look at a couple of things that I've been watching for a long, long time, that we've been watching for a long, long time. And also, why did I mention that Bitcoin is moving faster than I was expecting, right? If you guys remember, this is a weekly chart. If we zoom out a little bit, we'll see a huge cup in handle, right? I was expecting that cup in handle to maybe break out a little bit faster, somewhere around those areas. It did not happen. We had a big rejection, and then we start forming this trend line, right? The last time I was here, I was talking about being careful throughout the weekend because I would love to, and not that I like or not that I want something to happen means that the market's going to do so, right? But it would have been amazing that we hit this trend line right down here, especially on this center confluence of the median of the range, or even, you know what, we could even move it slightly above here. There we go. And then along this trend line here, this trend line for me is still within played. I'm going to explain why in a minute. But we did have that move back down here, right? I mean, it is not as sharp as it looks, because if we go somewhere like the 4 hour, let's just take a quick view in there. we can see that instead of having one sharp bottom, we had some sort of like a double bottom, which is a little bit more clear. We also have one of those taking profit TPs. A shout out to Chart Prime for that beautiful tick. And then breakout, retest. Remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and off we go, right? Let's go back to the weekly just to wrap things up. At this point, we're making a push through the trend line that we have above, right? But we have made pushes through it before, like these two candles, or even these three candles, this one and these other two candles, right? I want to see a weekly candle above this area, and of course, a 4-hour candle above that area, a daily candle above that area, a weekly candle above that area, and finally, of course, a monthly candle above that trend line, right? As we get more information on lower time frames, I'm going to be adjusting my strategy. But remember that we call a long at these areas that I just removed, but you can go check it out on the previous week. That was on Thursday, just in case you were missing it. So that was a pretty good long. I did already have taken some profits. And just for the hopium, let's measure this polling here, right? You can see the poll from the bull flag in here, and if we grab it, and I know it should be measured like that, but I find much more success measuring from the bottom to the top, and that gives us a possible target, a measured target of 95, somewhere around very close to 100k. All right, so is it possible? Absolutely. Are we gonna get rejected and this is a possible fake out? We need to see that oscillator break above that zero line and stay above there before we make that. How could we trade that? I will say going to the 4-hour, waiting for that breakout, big body candle. Oh, come on. So give me just 1 minute here. So we want a big body candle like this one, right? Big body candle like this one, big body candle like that one, right? Big body candle like that one. As you can see, when we're crossing the median, and that is example to show you a big resistance or support. We want to see a big body candle crossing through that area, going for the retest or maybe a little bit of a bull flagging here, and then maybe hitting this trend line and off we go. I also mentioned that this other trend line right down here is still on play, and that is because we don't have a confirmed breakout. This could be a double top, just going to hit this area, early flip of the ribbon right down here, and then now we make the actual breakout. So just keep those measure moves in mind, just so that you don't get faked out or you don't get wicked out like in the previous cases. But other than that, that's what I got, and those are my two possible scenarios, and I'm going to be preparing for those two.
All right, let's jump into this, OC. Let's talk about how does this happen? How does Bitcoin continue to move up? And I got a thesis here. Wow, you really, yeah, I was going to say you really are close to your camera today, man. I don't know how that happened that you're so big. Well, that's what she said. Anyway, so let's jump into this. Jesus. We'll just leave you the same size you are over there. I don't know. You moved your cameras while you were gone, and then there you go. So let's jump in and talk about cryptocurrency. Because, guys, this is Seeking Alpha. If you guys don't know what Seeking Alpha is, this is one of the things that I pay for from Piper Academy to get, deep dive analysis stuff and articles that are normally behind paywall so I can bring them to you. Interestingly enough, cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, popped up as a strong buy. This doesn't hardly ever happen on there. On Seeking Alpha, they typically say buy, if anything. They don't say strong buy. Looking down here, though, down the list, just to show you what else it has. It has Cryptocurrency MicroStrategies, MSTR ticker. That's a stock side. They're saying to hold. It's not a buy. It's not a sell. They think that it's going to recover quite nicely. And then AI Tech, NVIDIA, they're saying it is a strong buy right now also, okay? Interest rates, they're saying to buy. FREL, the 3.3% yielding fund, should benefit from a low-rate environment. And then the U.S. economy-wise, they're on hold. Everything is kind of on an unknown right now, right? That's what we're going to get into. That's the key point of this. These two unknowns of the U.S. economy, weekly indicator, September inflation report, points to a stronger picture. It's not quite bullish yet, not quite bearish yet. Let's go look here, though, and see what it's saying here about this macro literally at a crossroads. And let's read this and break this down for you. Let me bring it back up here to the top. Macro, literally at a crossroads. Bitcoin might be the asset that fits. A well-defined macro view is crucial, but holding the right asset is more important for portfolio success in certain uncertain economic conditions, which we have seen. We've talked about this. There's a hard landing thesis that's supported by positive real rates, declining savings rates, and traditional recession indicators like the yield curve inversion, all the things that I have brought to you guys many times here at the Academy. Gold and Bitcoin are recommended for their potential to perform well in both soft and hard landing scenarios, despite Bitcoin's volatility. Bitcoin offers unique convexity potential, acting as both a store of value and a tech asset when you're looking at that tech side, okay? Periodically, I write about macro early on. Let's just get into the data down here. The hard landing thesis for now. Let's take a step back and go through the current possibilities. The hard landing thesis is perhaps the best documented. It's a bit like a pursuit of the Holy Grail. It has attracted the sharpest and most adventurous minds to fold. Therefore, the case is very well supported with data points that make a compelling argument. One of the most important aspects to consider is that we are now in positive real rates territory. Positive real rates have been a rare beast in the last 25 years, and almost every time they have been with us for a prolonged period, it ends with a recession. Here's your Bears Piper back, okay? One way I tend to look at this is by adding the savings rate. When real interest rates become positive, available income will drop, and it will likely be compensated by savings consumption. Savings has already been consumed. It's at the lowest it's been in decades. If the tightening cycle is not too destructive, the economy might bear it well. But the 1990s is a good example of a decade when real rates trended higher for the first half. Then the savings rates dropped steadily. By 1995, real rates started trending lower until 1997 when they resumed with a new inflection point at the end of 1998. The savings rate kept dropping and bottomed out in 2000 just before the recession. So it took a while, but it got there. But that is a carry on from the 1990s where we dodged the recession, and they're saying that it just carried out to cause the bigger recession in 2000. A similar analysis can be done for the period ending in 2008, while the following period until 2023 was mostly characterized by negative real rates and stable savings rates. Then all of that ended as it started to go down. The helicopter money of the 2020 blurs that analysis because they pumped so much money in there into the market. Nevertheless, we are in a tightening period in terms of real rates since 2022, when the tightening cycle started. Right, savings rates are now lower than in 2019, and they seem to be trending lower. So the savings rate is what they're talking about, is how much people are saving up, and it's absolutely just been crushed. Nobody really has any savings going on. If we factor in the unemployment and apply the SOM rule, we get an alert that we might be close to a recession, even already in one. So there's for the people that say we are in a recession already. We can look at other popular recession indicators like the inversion of the yield curve, which is uninverting like it does right before a recession. You can see here, uninverted, big recession, uninverted, big recession, uninverted, cross the black line, recession. We just did that. The case is very clear and in favor of a recession, with several traditional recession detection metrics flashing red or orange. But as always, not every single metric is aligned with this view. Right now, much higher likelihood of a recession than what there is to avoid one. Of course, on the soft landing thesis, though, for me to be completely convinced that the recession is inevitable, I would need to see the inside of the stock market reflecting this. I would need to see cyclicals underperforming defensives. Okay, so basically, he needs to see the stock market not be pumping the way it is for him to move towards the idea that there is not going to be a soft landing. Okay, let's jump over here, talk about this article, because this is where the money comes into Bitcoin. If we don't get retail to return and we start to see the stock market go down, that could be the opportunity that we need for the markets to get money into Bitcoin. And here's where that comes in. Shout out to Mark Dutch. He said, Alex O Crypto sent me here. Alex O Crypto is the man. Bull markets tend to sputter in year 3. Let's talk about that. So the bull market for the S&P 500 celebrated its second birthday over the weekend, but history says there will likely be more growing pains in the year ahead. The benchmark large cap stock index has steadily rallied since its trough in October 12th, 2022, fueled in large part by the excitement around artificial intelligence and the profits it may heap on tech stocks. The S&P 500 has gained more than 60% in that period of time. So let's talk about what happens every couple of years on bull cycles. The bull market performance by year, and this is on the thumbnail, guys. You can see in 1957, year one returns 31%. Year two went down a little bit, 10%. The third year, it dropped 5%. Now, 1962, we had big run, smaller, but not a negative. Big run, medium run, down 10%. That's 1966. You can see over and over and over again here that we either have a way underperforming or a negative losses. We actually have losses there. 1974, not excuse me, 1982 though, we had a 58% with a 2% and then 13. You guys see a trend here? First year, really, really pumpy. Second year, not as pumpy. Third year, typically downside move. Let's look at the 2020 though. We had a 75% move, a 14% move, loss of 11% in that third year. After 11 bull markets that celebrated their second birthday, experienced at least one decline of 5% or more in the subsequent 12 months. So first 2 years, bull run. Third year, decline, right? That's what we've seen with the S&P. Of course, a slump of the S&P could be an opportunity for small cap stocks to catch up, Russell 2000, so on and so forth. It still has not set a new record high during its current upswing and has been underperforming the S&P 500. Now, the thing that I wanted to point out on here that is a little bit different from this to the others is the current bull market bucked the general trend by having a better second year than the first year. The current rally gained 22% in the first year and 33% in the second year compared to the historical averages of 44% the first year, 13% the second year. Let's go over here and talk about this because you got a couple of scenarios that play out here. One, the first year that had the nice little rally, that was the corrective stage after the 2020 crash of the markets, right? The pandemic crash. We had a corrective year. What if year two is actually year one? That's your big year. The second year that's going to come up will be a little bit less than that. And then we see the decline in 2026. That lines up the stock market with the 18-year real estate cycle, first of all. Secondly, it would put it back into the norm of the bigger year one, smaller year two, and then decline on year three. That's scenario one. Scenario two, we just had an odd year because of all the stimulus that pumped in at the beginning, giving it a uncertainty like what's going to happen with the markets, right? Because they saw the big pullback after everyone put all their stimulus money in. Then we see the rally when people start to gain confidence going up because, hey, look, we don't have a recession now. We thought there was going to be one. We thought there was going to be one again. Didn't happen. Now all the money comes in. Money of uncertainty flushes in, makes a bigger second year. And then year three, which is coming up in 2025, is the pullback year for the stocks. Two scenarios there, OC. I think in the second scenario, that is where we get new money coming into Bitcoin. We don't have to have retail return. We just need people to not be throwing all their money in the S&P. If they see it start to come back while Bitcoin is holding and growing, that could cause that money to flush over. And we just saw on Seeking Alpha what they were talking about there, that they do identify Bitcoin for its tech exposure and for its store of value like gold has, right? So if we're seeing gold start to do things and people start looking for other ways, because I think gold is already super expensive, they see the growth potential that Bitcoin could hit. Does the money come from the contracting S&P year three to move into Bitcoin? And is that where we get the new money from? Your thoughts on all of that, OC?
All right, so let's just pick between scenario one or two, right? I mean, I really think that it's gonna be once again, I mean, scenario two, just like you mentioned, and that is because I mean, let's just say that the pressure points depends not on this part of the economy, but on the other side of the economy. And what I mean with that, it is, are we really going to be saying that we are into maybe a depression or a big in trouble when, let's just say, the red team, it is not? Well, we know both sides, we are struggling, right? It doesn't matter how you looked at it. We are in the same ditch, like in the exact same ditch. It's just a matter of who can print more money into a regulated way, not to fall farther, but kind of like a life jacket, right, and stay afloat longer than the other one is, right? At that point, I think Western economy has a leg up because of the U.S. dollar, right? I would say the influx point will be gold, just like you mentioned, but my perspective will be not because retail might be jumping to gold. I'm not saying that they're not, but what I'm saying that I think countries might be jumping back into gold. That being said, China. That being said, Russia. That being said, India. That being said, so on and so forth. Right, all of those economies clashing up or cashing up together within gold. I think that's the only way that we might be seeing that played out, and also being seeing that money migrate. Let's just do a little recap on how big companies pay their bills, because I mean, money is just like a big wave, right? You can only spend it when that big wave of cash comes your way, because virtual money, whatever you see on your bank account number, and if we add it up all together, is not enough on real cash. So how do they pay their taxes? How do they withdraw money to pay in cash? They need to be in line for whenever they can, right? One pays, then the other one does, so on and so forth. We need to wait for that same cash to come around. And I think that will be a big issue if we don't control that overproduction of dollars. When there's a fine line between staying afloat on float and then sinking altogether because of the weight of your same weight, right?
Yep.
So thinking about that, I think you are completely correct. I think you are in the right on the spot. We cannot just think that the money is going both ways, because we just talked about that same wave, right, or of money. We need to that same money get out of somewhere to get into cryptocurrency, and that's the healthiest way possible. So we're not creating value out of nowhere and then injecting or artificially inflating something, but taking value out of something and then migrating that value into cryptocurrency. That's what I want to see, and I think
Yep.
that's what it needs to happen.
And that was exactly my point today. How do we hit that new, all-time high parabolic run? It's that money flowing over there from S&P as it starts to do its year 3 activity. But you should go take a look at Bitcoin right now, OC. Let's jump over and take a look at that. And then we'll come back around and knock out some alts, guys. Looking here at Bitcoin right now, guys, we are at that 786. I just talked about that. That was my target. I thought that we would break that. Now, here's what needs to happen. I'm looking at this on a 5-day. I need to bring that down a little bit. Bring it back. Come on. Chill out there. Easy, easy killer. What I am watching for here. So we are getting a lot of overbought here on the Oscillator Pro. We do have a downtrend that has printed. We are starting to get a little curvature, but you see here we had this little curvature, and it was really just this move right there on Bitcoin. That's what I would like to see here. I would like to see us get up here above this channel. We are at a trend line of resistance on the 12-hour right now. That is part of this auto-drawn chart pattern right there of a rising wedge. There's the top. Oh, draw it. Thank you. There's the top. There's the bottom of that. So we are at the top point of that. I think that we could get a breakout of this possibly. Possibly. If we do, we'll get a confirmation dot on there. That will be the ideal for a long, and it'll give us our new target, probably about 73,867. That's going to be your 887 right there for your resistance line. Now, if we can get up here and we just, trade back and forth along this line and do something like we did back here, something like we did here, just a little sideways move, okay? While everything cools off back down here. Because you can see that we do have the volume matrices coming up. Money flows in green. We still have more room to go up on the True 7. Really, what we need to see is a cool off on price, uh, just holding sideways, holding on the 786 as support while this cools off again. And then this can do just like it did there and give us one more run up to get this confirmed as support off of that 786. When it comes back for that retest, that will be when all of this cools off quite a bit. And that will be the setup for the 887, guys. And that's what I'm hoping to see there on Bitcoin. OC, unless you're seeing anything different, let's go check out an altcoin and see what you're seeing on alts. But right now, that's what I'm watching for there on Bitcoin. So
Absolutely. Let's take a look at something like we were talking about the previous week. And man, Bitcoin, it is breaking. So we're having in the 4 hour that big body candle that I was talking about that I want to see. Is it playing out? Yeah. So what does it mean when we are retracing, right? I mean, we are retracing. We should be either ranging or plummeting, and we're moving upwards. So what do you think is going to happen when we flip back up? So this could be still be a fake out. So that's why I want to see maybe a multi-candle flag or multi-candle pullback before we re-engage into a move upwards here. But you mentioned, Piper, that we should be taking a look at some altcoins. At this point, I want to start looking at XRP, right? So is it the new stable coin? I don't know, but it just doesn't move, refusing to move. But I was giving a call here a couple of days earlier, looking for maybe lower sections for entries. Seems like we did got them, and right now we're kind of like moving upwards, slightly upwards within this very strange channel down here, right? So at this point, I'm looking for a possible opportunity for maybe a pullback like that, maybe hit my alert, and then a breakout like this. If we see Bitcoin keep moving to the upside, I think XRP might be doing its thing, like we have seen, like for example, doing this range and then bursting up, doing a range and then bursting up, doing a range and then bursting up. So if you like XRP, well then here goes a possible setup. And another thing that I would love to see it is Ethereum. But before we do that, guys, let us know what you guys want us to check out on altcoins. And let me also throw it back to you, Piper.
yeah, let's jump over here. Let's take a look at what I'm seeing here. So I do have this little play that I'm doing here. We are on the daily. We are hitting the quantum reactor here, guys, from Chart Prime. Okay. On the daily, you can see that we did close a wick on it here perfectly on the daily yet last night. And that's where we got our little pullback from before we just now broke it. Because we have all of this resistance in this area, I am being a little more cautious. I mean, obviously here on the daily, we can go up quite a bit more on everything. It's still looking decent. But on the 12-hour, it is looking a little exhausted. I do think that we might get a small pullback here. That small pullback could scare some people. That scare in some people could cause even more sell-off. What I'm doing right now and how I'm approaching this, I am currently in my long still. It's up $693, 32.6%. Where did I get in on that at? That is going to be right down here. That's the long that I got in on, and then I took some profits along the way. But now my total entry is coming in right here at this break point. That is coming in at about let's see here. Can I shrink that back down? Can you shrink for me? Thanks. I zoomed in too much. I zoomed in too much, and it's going to have to go back now. Hold on. Get in there. Yeah, I can't get it off there, guys. Sorry. Okay, anyway, I'll show you on the chart. If you zoom in on the chart too much, you can't zoom out because then it just moves the chart. Anyway, what I'm watching here is my level that I got back in was the pullback here. Okay. It is up quite a bit. I am hedged with a short right here on the 786 in case we do get that pullback. If we don't get the pullback, I will cut sling load on that short. The long is obviously still making that money. And then I'm protecting my gains so far with that short in case it does pull back while maintaining my long for continuation on. I do think, guys, that we are going to hit that 73,887. I just wanted to show you guys how I was approaching this with the current price line, what we're seeing on the indicators, where we could be going, and how much that I'm already up. It's important to protect your wealth. That's what I've always preached to you guys. So, we have about 14 minutes, OC. Let's go and take a look at a couple of the big movers, like either Ondo, Sui, and maybe we'll take a look at not Siri. Thank you. Shut up. My phone's talking to me over here. Take a look at Sui, Ondo, and maybe Tia. How about that? You want to take one of those?
Absolutely. Let me take Ondo. I've been looking at Ondo for a couple of days now. I was expecting actually a pullback down after a breakout. Let's just see what I was looking for. This was a 15 minutes analysis. Let's go to it. And I was expecting a breakout and then a major reversal. So remember that we take everything that happens with a grain of salt. We go candle by candle. Seems like we did have that breakout, very nice breakout, but also seems that the order block that we had going on here was not big enough, and then we did not reject it out of that order block nor from this resistance point. I was expecting a further move to the downside if Bitcoin had its retracement to this trend line. So both of those did not happen. We had a double bottom, a move breakout retest, and that means that we should be replicating here, and we did exactly that. So we replicated with a movement with that double bottom. Well, it's not a double bottom, but a further continuation to the upside, and then we are keep pushing forward. Let me clear this up and let's start analyzing where we're standing at this point. We had a little bit of a retracement. We most likely hit an order block right down there. On my predictive ranges, we hit the gray line right down here, and then we're moving forward. We have our first tick in here, but guys, since we already have the pullback, this tick is already invalidated. So we have a first one, secondary, and then the pullback. That could be your possible re-entry. Remember that I'm always looking at those ticks, right? Let me just bring up a couple more things at this point. Like for example, where is all my support, right? At this point, I'm looking at all of my reactors of my nuclear planning here, right? And everything is just flashing up below. So what I could be looking at, it is a possible pullback if we can have it like that. And then as I have a flip of the ribbon to the upside, that could be my possible reentry. Remember, at this point, I'm looking for possible reentries. Am I really expecting a pullback here? I don't know. I really don't care. If I got it, I'll jump into Ondo. If I don't have it, well, then I wait until I do see a pullback or a little range. Remember, we don't chase after prices. And that is because Bitcoin is still within a high resistance area here, right? So that could be a fake out. So we need to be very careful. Nonetheless, let's just finalize this one with the order blocks in here and the money flow POC, because look at your order block and the money flow POC on the 15 minutes. We could be having that retracement on this area before we start pushing forward and to the right and onwards. Let's go really quick to the 4 hour just to see the macro structure in here. And it seems like we are within a little range at this point. Is it in a upper range? Yes, it is. Do I like it? Absolutely. Because I don't think that we're going to be going farther down. Something else that I want to point out here, it is going to be the median of this range in here. And as you can see, we are trying to push through, right? So be careful. We want to see that flip of the ribbon in here, and also do not lose that median line. That means we should, or we need to oscillate a little bit here before we burst to the upside. And that will be fair because we are going down, up, down, and now it seems like we want to take those highs. So just be careful, because once again, we are right here on a order block resistance. Let me just clear this up so you can see it better, right? Order block resistance in here, and also all of our reactors down below. So we're waiting for a compression burst. What is going to be defining the direction? Where we are on the oscillator. Other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
Let's jump into here, take a look at Solana real fast. I know I said Sui, but I want to take a look at Solana, guys, because you might be looking for a short opportunity here. You can see here, isolate the top chart. And I do want to point out that right now, give me a second for this to reload here. I'm looking at the stocks right now. Bitcoin's up, Ether's up, Solana's up, okay? That's what we have going on there. But we have earnings reports coming in right now. The Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ have all gone negative. The Dow Jones right now currently down 0.3%. The S&P is flat at about 0.02, and the NASDAQ down 0.17%. So that we are getting some stock market pullback, which is also probably why we're looking at a little pullback right now on crypto, which is another reason that I went into a short hedge against my Bitcoin long. We did hit perfectly here on the 382 on Solana, getting that wick off right now. It is coming. It's pulling back about a 50% move here, guys. We have a 200-day as support. That's the 200-day simple moving average. But we have the pullback right here. We have this top pattern. I think that if we come up into this range, let's go ahead and throw a box on here for it so I can show you what I'm watching. This is the top of a chart pattern and that 382. And you can see that right there. There is the top line of that coming across. That has been our resistance. That is a horrible drawing. Can I draw better? There we go. And then we have the rising bottom on this wedge. I am thinking that if we hit into this area here, it might be another opportunity for a quick short scalp on Solana. I'm watching that now. Let's jump over to Sui. He said that I would talk about that. Come here, Sui. Where are you at? That is Stacks. That is not. There's Sui. Sui right now, guys, is getting a rejection off of its 1-to-1. If you guys want to know where that comes from, it is a trend-based fib extension pulled from a low to a high to a higher low right there. Sorry, got that wrong one right there. That is where these are pulled from. You can see all the play that we had here in the golden pocket, rejections on the platinum pocket. We just retested it. Sui might be set up for a long at about $2.07 there. If it can hold that level, you can put your stop loss really right back down below here. If you're going to run your stop loss tight like that, that would be a good spot for it because it should hold this technically. If not, you can do a two-part entry on the 887 and on the 786, which is coming in currently at $1.89. So I think Sui is still looking very strong, in my opinion. Taking a look here at the 12-hour oscillator, we did get the peak seeker that printed here, and we did get the bearish divergence. Money flows coming down. However, this has done this many times where we were overbought. We had a trend. It came down, found support, came back up. So that pullback has already taken place and proven support on that 887. That's $2.07. I see Lunar Beaches in the chat, guys. If you guys did not check out this morning's show, we have a pre-market open show that is called Good Morning Crypto. Lunar Beaches Crypto and BC Port Corp in there. Lunar Beaches popping into the chat to say 49K, still holding strong as the bear that we need in this market. So there you go. Lunar Beach is surfing the waves. OC, what do you got? Let's jump over to you, see what you're seeing on your charts. And then that should take us to the bottom of the hour before we head over to raid Randy Hipper's house, the frat house. Go see the frat mom. What do you got for us, OC?
Absolutely. Well, I wanted to take a look at Ethereum, right? I do think Ethereum has a big potential. I was expecting Ethereum to have that pullback and then a breakthrough, right? Why was I expecting this pullback for a better positioning? Not only because we have a very solid support, and also because of the median that we have been seeing on the daily downwards movement in here. Remember, usually a down range breaks to the upside, right? And then I was also looking at Bitcoin possible retracement. So that's why I was also expecting a possible retrace right down here. On Ethereum daily, we are running to the dynamic reactor in here. Also at the top of this range where we have been for a long time. For the 4-hour time frame, I know it's a little bit of a mess in here, but you see that, oh, come on. But you see that I was looking for a possible head and shoulders. That head and shoulders on my eyes have been already invalidated because this is a shoulder too high for this head. So at this point, I will be keep looking at a range and also preparing. We are flipping back down here. We are at resistance. So be careful. because again, just like in Bitcoin, we could be retracing. What I want to see in here before jumping in will be that retracing to the dynamic reactor, flip of the ribbon, possible entry, and then off we go to fulfill the breakout retest sooner. Let's just move that out of the way to predict or to just put it in sync to where I believe on time could be happening. If that doesn't happen, well, then the next possibility is just a straight breakout, retest, and off you go. Or then for a better positioning, I would say keep looking at this area at 2,181. Let me just recap. For the worst case scenario, long entry 2,181. For the immediate short term, a possible retracement 2,544 for a long scenario. And then for a short scenario, if we break through the zero line, we'll be shorting somewhere around 2,667 as we go down, not as we go up. And then if you miss that, a breakout at 2,818 and then re-entry back at those same price areas. Other than that, throw it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Let's jump over here. I'll show you guys what I'm watching for right now. Guys, that short entry on Bitcoin playing out right now for us. It is currently up $50 in profit, 619 being protected in my long. So my goal on this is to protect what I've made already on my long. And then if the short comes back to my entry on my long, then I can always reposition a better long entry. So I'm holding the long. I'm hedging with the short, just so you guys know. Let's jump back over here to the Duo Cam OC. What are you doing this afternoon? You want to come join me for Trade Academy this afternoon?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, let's do that. Cool, guys. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm going to keep an eye on my short here. We'll come back at the market close, see how these markets close off today with the pullback on the S&P, NASDAQ, and the Dow right now. I do think that we could have a little more pump in Bitcoin once it settles down a little bit here. But like that's what we talked about. We want to see it get that support on that platinum pocket there while all of the RSIs and everything, oscillators all cool off. That would be the goal. And we could get that possibility. So Bitcoin can go completely sideways and be extremely boring while all of the oscillators cool off. And then that's when a flag gets created and then another pump. So just so you guys know, that's how that works. But we will be back here this afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. OC Guy and I will be here for Trade Academy. We'll give you guys the market close data, and then we'll take a look at where those trades are at and see if there's any new trade setups and show you guys how we enter the trade so that you guys can get that knowledge, because knowledge is profit. OC, what do you got for the people on the way out, man? I know obviously they need to smash that like button, but what else you got for them?
Absolutely. So right now we got Bitcoin to zero. It doesn't show in here, but that's fine. Let's just move it here up here. Bitcoin is going to zero. No, just kidding. Just be careful right there on the markets today. I'm going to keep it simple, guys. Keep it safe. Just because everything is green doesn't mean that we could not be having a retracement. Remember to always look for the worst case scenario. And other than that, quick reminder, click that like button and have a great rest of your day, guys. Great morning for you.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do that. Guys, thanks for joining us here today. We will be back here this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the market close. OC and I giving you guys Trade Academy. And then this evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the Crypto Nightcap, the #1 show on Piper Academy with TradeFly and FD White. Guys, until then, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you all. Share this with a friend because sharing is caring, and we will be back here this afternoon. Till then, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss. I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, form a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have, step fall back to offline.
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome,